Throughout my many hours of Valheim, there has been one weapon type that I have very much neglected, which just so happens to be the knife. This is because I've always thought the knife class is one of the weakest in the game, and that it relies too much on the sneak skill, which in my opinion is unreliable and very buggy, especially in boss fights. But the stealthy assassin archetype is one of my favorite playstyles in all of gaming, so I knew I just had to try it out in Valheim. Even building a secret hideout, which turned out to be one of my most favorite builds I've ever constructed. So loading into a fresh, brand new world, I set out to answer one question. How strong can knives be if they're pushed all the way to their max potential? And the answer just might surprise you. My name is Jack, and thank you for joining me. And we are back in Valheim. It's good to be back. I love starting next to the coast. After being dropped off in my new world, the first thing I wanted to do was craft a knife, because without one I could not kill any of the creatures attacking me. So I traveled north down the coastline foraging for early resources. Getting my rested buff, I went over to a nearby abandoned village to see if I could make the flint knife. Where do I get the flint knife from? Do I need leather scraps? Maybe I do. The skeleton hit that boar, didn't he? Did. I lead this boar into the skeletons. Here we go. Yes. Day 1 knife. And after crafting my first knife, I went out and tested it against the skeletons. So the good thing about knives is the fast attack speed, so it's going to level up much faster than other weapons, but obviously there's a lot more disadvantages as well. But now that I have a knife, I think I want to build a house. Needing a starting base of operations, I stalked back towards the sacrificial stones, killing all the deer I could along the way. Might as well discover this, because I forgot to at the start. And after sleeping through the night, I awoke on day 2, ready to get building. It's a big deer, guys. 2 stars. We're gonna sneak up on it. Hopefully the next don't alert him. Yes. Finding my way back to the start, I thought this would be a good opportunity to build right on the coast since the altar was so close. And I wanted to try a little different style of starting base this time, so I decided to build right on the water. If I did like this. I know this rots in the water, by the way, I'm aware. But I think it'd kind of be cool to build it like this. Maybe like an L around this way. Wood exposed to water in Valheim does get damaged, but only decays down to 50%, so it really wasn't a big deal. And it's always useful to build as close to water as possible, especially for your starter base, because it makes it easier to transport materials off your ship in later biomes. If you guys are having trouble building in Valheim, a good trick that I like to do is frame the building first. This helps you get a sense of the structure without fully completing the walls. And I know a lot of you have wanted me to put out dedicated building videos, which is something I'd be interested in, but I'm not too sure it would fit the overall vibe of my channel. But maybe you guys could let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. Moving onto the roof, you guys know that I think this is the most important part of the building, so this probably took me the most time trying to get right. I kind of feel like the right side should be smaller and lower. Just a little guy. I feel like that's good. Yeah, I think that looks better. I just realized, how is one supposed to get a campfire in here? A problem I didn't really think of when I first started building was how I was going to get a campfire for warmth, but I was able to place it on one of the rocks that was underneath the floor, making a wood chimney of sorts. And after I spent my first night inside my new base, the shell was pretty much complete, and all that was left to do was to fill it out as I progressed through the first few biomes. It's a lot to fill up, but a lot to expand to too. Good starter base. Putting some final touches on the structure of the base, I placed down some torches to light up the big open area. There we go. Day 10. Now that my starter was livable, it was time to start preparing for the first boss, Eikthyr, which I still need to collect some more deer along with some more bees for honey. So I traveled down the coastline that I had not explored yet. No. No! We're also looking for leviathans off the coast. Just keep that in mind. Oh, there's an axe head. I guess I can take it. Just for the fine wood purposes, if I find the other one. There's a mountain right here. Probably a smaller one, it looks like. Traveling south, I eventually wrapped around and hit my first black forest. Black forest, there's a bear right there. There's also seeds that I kind of want. Carrot seeds. I'm out. Always running after me. That one's gonna spook right there to the left. Yeah. There's no movement speed penalties on knives. I didn't know that. One of the perks of using knives, which I actually didn't know about before, is there is no movement speed penalty, so you can run around with them and always be ready to attack. But it was hard to break my habit of double tapping my hammer, which puts away your weapons fast, which is why I had a little bit of fist skill because I kept accidentally punching things. We got some new armor. I'm gonna upgrade my hammer for once in my life. With my new armor and cooked food, I was ready for my first real test, so I made my way over to the first boss. I think I'm ready. Can I get a sneak attack? No. It's doing a lot of damage. Oh, the tree hit me! I did not expect that. Oh god, not again. The trees are more deadly than the boss. Not bad with the knife. After defeating Eikthyr, I was now ready to enter the Bronze Age, so I traveled back home so I could get ready to clear some dungeons. And I think I should explain a little bit more of why I felt knives are so bad, and it's mainly due to the damage they deal. They're split between slashing and pierce damage, and if you guys have played through Valheim before, you'd probably know that there's a lot of enemies that are resistant to pierce damage, especially in the later biomes, effectively making your attacks deal a lot less damage. I know this is going to be a little bit of a rant, but since 1.0 is coming up soon, I think it's a good time to talk about this. I do get the reasoning behind making a lot of enemies resistant to pierce damage, making it so ranged weapons like bows and crossbows, which tend to be a little bit easier to use, are less effective, but doing that nerfs all the other piercing weapons in the game. Spears, for example, are really good early game, but later on there's absolutely no reason for you to use them over a sword, so I think they should separate the damage types and make bows and crossbows deal range damage instead. But I'm curious of what you guys think, or if you have any better ideas, so let me know down below. Okay, I'm gonna back out again. Just too much. Should be fine now. Not fine, not fine, not fine. They're right at the door. Slowly making my way through the first dungeon, I attempted to collect Surtling cores so I could build the furnace and kiln. Got some cores. 2-star Grey Dwarf. And while I was clearing dungeons, I figured I might as well explore the rest of my coastline to scout for ores and collect Black Forest material. No! Okay, we're good. Kind of shat myself a little bit there. Inventory's almost full already. Classic Valheim. Ooh, am I gonna sneak attack in? Yes! No. Where is he at? Oh. It's pretty far. Following the coast, this is when I ran into my first troll, who happened to be a little scarier than usual. It's a starred troll. That's a 2-star troll. The first one I saw. The first troll I run into is a 2-star. You know how rare that is? Oh, I have no arrested either. Fantastic. Running for my life, the day eventually turned into night, and I had to run the rest of the way home in the dark. Finally making my way back to base with enough resources to build my furnace and kiln, I was now ready to start the copper and tin grind. So I headed back to the forest to gather enough ore for the basics like the forge and cart, which I could use to carry a larger haul back to base. I do no damage to him. Yeah, I think not. Gonna pull that whole group now. And after getting as much ore as I could carry, I headed back to base as the sun was setting. Copper knife. New upgrade. Forging my first bronze bar, I turned that into nails so I could make a cart. And now that I had that, I made my way back to the forest to collect a large amount of copper. It's facing me. So I believe there's like a cone that they have. A vision cone. And I'm in the light as well, so it doesn't help either. I missed. Nice. That wasn't that bad. Killing my first troll, I found a copper deposit that I started to fully expose so I could collect the whole vein. And while I do that, I'll explain the sneaking mechanic a little bit because it's rather complicated. Sneaking in Valheim is mainly based on visibility, which is affected by light, represented by the little bar below the sneaking icon, and your positioning. Starting with light exposure, there's a lot of things that affect this, like shade, time of day, skill, environment, and even the weapon you're using can put off light. Next is positioning, which is the frontal cone that represents their sight line. This, I believe, is different for every enemy in the game, and I find is not very consistent. Combining these two things is what alerts the monster, which you can see by looking at the opening eye in the middle of your screen. And if you do everything right, you should see a yellow icon above the enemy's head, which allows for a backstab bonus, which for most weapons is a ×3 multiplier, but for knives is a massive ×6. So getting this bonus is pretty huge when running knives. 113. Not bad. And after spending over an hour mining that whole copper deposit, I slowly pushed my cart back to base so I could begin smelting it all down. I always forget how long the Bronze Age is. It is actually probably the worst grind in Valheim. Smelting copper and tin and crafting bronze bars, I was finally able to get to the bronze axe so I could collect some fine wood. We got a cultivator now. And I was also able to craft the cultivator, which allowed me to start a carrot farm. Let's make some jeans. Using my newly acquired fine wood and some of the material I had been collecting on my journeys, I decorated my home a little bit to increase my rested bonus time. Put our portal in here, maybe. Looks like a good place for it. And after getting the portal down, I was able to build the carve using the bronze nails I'd been crafting, which now would allow me to start exploring the ocean. Finally go look for some Leviathan. I think I'll head towards the Elder and then hopefully I can find some Leviathan on the way. You have probably noticed that I have not made the copper knife yet. This is because I was going to skip that knife altogether. Instead, I was going to go for the Abyssal Razor, an iron tier knife that you can get from farming chitin off the Leviathans found in the ocean, making the Abyssal Razor the earliest iron grade weapon you can find, and arguably one of the best weapons for the Black Forest and early swamp biomes. Is that another 2-star troll? Bro. Landing on the island that was home to the Elder, I went back to sleep before continuing to explore the ocean. Some swamp right there. Oh, there's one. Just popped right in. I think the best path is here, here to the other 3. And that's probably all I can do, but we'll see. It's already going down. I have 20. Just have to make sure my stam isn't too bad. Collecting enough for the Abyssal Razor, I attempted to find more Leviathan, but couldn't find any, so I eventually made my way back to the Elder's Island. It's a cool little island right there. Gotta do an island base one of these times. But I kind of have a different idea for the base for this run, which I'm not really sure will work out, but I want to at least try. Setting up a portal, I went back to go upgrade my knife. Big upgrade. Now home, I thought it was about time to set up a cooking station and mead kettle to start preparing for the elder fight. So I went over to my farm and set up a little station to cook at. And now that all my ore was mostly smelted, I was able to make the forge improvements along with the fermenter, meaning that all that was left to do was go hunt trolls to upgrade my armor. Let's go look for some trolls quick. There's a troll. I gotta kill all these guys first, though. Uh-oh, he's after me. And while I'm taking out this troll and struggling to kill a bear, I just want to give a quick shout out to our channel members who I'm sure are just as hyped as I am for Valheim 1.0, which I already have started to plan out what videos and challenges I would like to do. And this is not a for sure thing because I'm quite busy, but I'm seriously considering streaming a normal run at launch, because it's kind of hard to research and game plan challenges when you haven't even played through the content yet. So if that's something you guys would like to see, let me know because I think it'd be really fun. There we go. Only finding one troll in the Black Forest next to my starter island, I traveled over to the Elder to explore there. Look for some more trolls. My knives are actually absurdly high right now. 42 and I haven't even killed the Elder. It's actually really good. Can I get the sneak attack on him? Get my stam fully back? Yes. Oh my gosh. I did not expect that much damage. I slaughtered that man. There's that other 2-star troll. That sounds like a terrible idea to fight this guy. If I can get a sneak attack on him though, maybe? That'd spook him? Oh, it did. So if I do get hit by him, I'll die. For sure. But I'm pretty good at dodging trolls. If I get a sneak attack on him, I mean, we're fine, right? Stop moving. Ooh, that was a little scary. Dagger's kind of nuts, though. 20 hide. We are now sneaky. Oh, you need the cape too. Guess we'll make the cape. I don't know, I think about it. Why would wearing a bright blue whole outfit make you sneaky? Doesn't really make sense, does it? Now that I had the full troll set, I used the carrots I'd been farming to make better food for the fight. Got some better food now. And wanting a few more armor upgrades, I went hunting for a couple more trolls. Ah. Are you kidding me? Now fully ready for the fight, I went to bed to ensure I had a full day to defeat the Elder. Going through the portal, I made my way to the altar, and armed with my Abyssal Razor, I summoned the second boss, the Elder. Oh, I got the sneak attack on him. That was huge. That's so hard to do. This has been actually one of the faster elder kills I've ever had. Wow. This has been insanely fast. Wow. I think that was the easiest elder kill I've ever had. Maybe daggers are OP. That sneak attack was nasty though. Right at the beginning. After killing the elder, I was starting to learn that knives were actually pretty good for the early game, and I thought they would be especially good when paired with the buckler. But I knew that going into later biomes, they would eventually not be as good, but I'd just have to wait and see how they fared in the swamp. This has been a really good start for daggers. After dropping off the boss trophy, I gathered my portal and went searching for swamps. Let's head south. Oh, it's hill deer. We don't want that. Sailing south for a while, I eventually found a swamp that looked relatively safe to explore, so I went and put a portal on the coast. Why are these guys all running after me for no reason? But I still wanted to find more Leviathan so I could upgrade my Abyssal Razor, so once I had placed my portal down, I continued exploring the ocean to hopefully find one. Oh, discovered the plains. Oh, there's the witch. I'm going to set up another portal over here. Instead of finding a Leviathan, I happened to find the Bog Witch, so I decided that I would upgrade my knife later and started looking for sunken crypts. Finding my first crypt, I went inside in hopes of finding iron. That was fast. Oh my god, is he far away? A lot of iron already? Luckily, locating bone mass in my first dungeon, all I had to do now was collect a bunch of iron and eventually make my way over to him. Oh, staggered me. More iron. Quickly clearing my first dungeon, I was killing the swamp enemies pretty easily with my iron grade dagger. And after making a pit stop back at my longship, I continued exploring the swamp. Oh, that probably could have killed me. Same place? No, different place. Now that I'd collected quite a bit of iron, I decided to try to take down an abomination, so I used the small animation window to take advantage of the sneak attack bonus. Not bad either with the dagger. Knives are pretty good. I'm actually enjoying this. After filling my boat, I decided it was time to start heading back towards my base. But I wanted to get a portal down near the Bog Witch, so I sailed back a little bit so I could find her in the swamp. Putting a portal on a nearby crypt, I went over to her hut to say hi. Oh, okay, yeah, I saw that coming. I got stuck on the animation. There we go. I think I sailed back to my base now. I'm pretty far away, but I can explore Black Forest along the way and hopefully I can find Haldor. We are finally back. Not a bad boat ride though. Had to win most of the way. Sailing all the way back to my base, I sadly didn't find a Leviathan or Haldor, but I did have a ship full of iron to smelt down, so I spent the next few hours chopping trees and running my smelter. Now, I don't really need much iron unless I want to make the armor. And I obviously need the pickaxe too. I do think I want heavy armor. It seems a little strange, obviously, for the knife build, but there's really no advantage of having light armor with running knives. And if I want to not die this run, I want to have a little bit of armor. I want to give knives the best opportunity to be strong, and to do that, I want to keep my skill as high as possible. So I decided I would run heavy armor with the root harness to hopefully keep myself from dying. And I still had yet to find any turnips, so I went back to the swamp to try to find some. That wasn't expected. I'm gonna have to just time the attack. There we go. Can't find any turnips anywhere. There's some. Finally, I kind of want more than just one though. Another A-bomb, huh? There definitely only being one turnip plant in that whole swamp, I took the portal over to the first swamp I found to hopefully find more. Oh my gosh, where'd all this stuff come from? All right, we're safe. I got a little scary there. Finding some more turnips and killing some more abominations, I went back to base to make some upgrades. I think I'm gonna make the root harness. I might as well make the iron helmet as well now. Iron helmet 14 armor, that's 6 whole armor more. That's amazing. We're gonna make that. Change it back to the brown cape. Looks better. Can make the long ship and explore off to the west instead. Okay, I think I'm ready to sail to Bone Mass. And hopefully I can find more Leviathan on the way. Only found one so far. Maybe I'll stop by this Elder, check it out a little bit. Still needing more Leviathans, I took the long way around to Bone Mass's location. And on the way, I searched for potential base locations. That sucks that it's in this like little valley. I was planning on digging under it because the other one is near the ocean and this one's low and this is the water level obviously, so I can't really get that deep. It's alright, we'll figure something else out. Don't start raining. Bro. Why does it always rain? Trophy maybe? Trophy. A trophy indeed. So we just gotta be aware that we can get some serpents here. We don't want any serpents. That's definitely a plains. I'm gonna take a portal back home and sleep through this rain. And we got the best trinket in the game. Taking my time exploring down the coastlines, I made some stops along the way. That's like in the meadows. A little goblin fort. I'm kinda interested, guys. I'm gonna go in there, take a look. I'm wet, should be fine. I actually staggered him. Stealth attack. Oh, he hit me. I did not expect him to swing that good. I don't see any totems or anything. All right. Getting back on my longship, I continued exploring the ocean looking for Leviathan, but happened to reach Bone Mass first. Right next to the water. I'm try to kill this A-bomb. It's gonna attack my boat, of course. Why is it running away from me? Setting up a portal at Bone Mass, I went back to my boat to continue searching. Now it's chasing me down. Really the one time that I need Leviathan, I just can't find him. Usually I find like 5, 10, you know, in a row kinda. I found like 3 in a row before, multiple times. Sailing for quite a long time, I eventually reached the Mistlands and still hadn't found anything. Discovered the Mistlands. Oh gosh, I almost just killed myself on the water. That would have been horrible. I also needed to find Haldor, so I stopped at Black Forest along the way to search. Can I not find Haldor, guys? He's gone forever. I one-shotted him. Damn. Taking a break from sailing, I went back to start preparing for the bone mass fight, but I knew I would have to find at least one more Leviathan because I would need 2 abyssal razors to take him down. This is because bone mass is resistant to pierce and slash damage, so I would need to hit him quite a bit. Stop moving me. Let's just do cured hamstring for now. There's more iron in here. I did not know that. Yeah, it makes me want to just do some armor upgrades, because why not? And after upgrading my armor a little bit, I decided to get a jumpstart on the next biome by exploring the small mountain on my starter island. I mean, I should be fine, right? Sometimes these early mountains don't actually spawn enemies because they're too low. Obsidian spawning. There should be enemies. I hear a wolf. There he is. I see him. Wolves probably have really good vision, huh? There's 2. No. Oh, we got him. And the other one didn't trigger. Wait. No! Oh, we still got him. Onion seeds. Let's go. There's a frost caves right there. Drake right there. I'm not too nervous about fight. Well, I actually am kind of nervous about fighting drakes because I cannot shoot them down. He's kind of low. Will I be able to sneak attack? Immediately sees me. I'm riding him. Oh my gosh. This mountain probably has silver on it, so that's good. Probably doesn't have much, but... Another chest. Maybe some more onions. Some more onions. And some obsidian. Alright, we're out. That was good. After a successful first foray into the mountains, I was able to find some onion seeds and obsidian, allowing me to start an early onion farm and gain another workbench improvement so I could fully upgrade my root harness. Root harness fully upgraded. And after making my iron pickaxe, I needed to find more Leviathan, so I went back to searching the ocean. See, there you go. 1, 2. They spawn in like a row, it seems like. Make sure I have full stam. I'm floating. Not bad. 75. Please discover Haldor, please. I better just run into here quick and see if I can find Haldor. I'm getting kind of desperate now. I'm gonna go into here a little bit, get some cloudberries. Deskios can't kill me because I have the root harness. I discovered before that these can sometimes have the Yagluth location. No, it doesn't have it. Still not being able to find Haldor, I went back to base to make some final upgrades and craft a spare knife. Oh, I can actually make onion soup. Might as well make one for the fight, right? Yeah, I'll make 1 onion soup. I think today is bone mass time. I want to get the sneak attack again, because that was huge last time. It won't be as huge for bone mass, but it would be nice. Finally ready to fight bone mass, I cooked the best food I could and poured over to him to hopefully take him down. No, I didn't get it. I'm not doing any damage, of course. So why would I? This fight isn't that visually good for you guys. Ow. Did not mean to get hit there. I am messing up, guys. Take a potion. You guys see why I needed to make 2 daggers now? Just gotta be aware of my poison resistance, because if it runs out, then I am gonna be hurting. Why? I knew I should have killed that A-bomb. Can't see anything. Let's just hope the A-bomb... Okay, he went away. That's so weird. We're looking good now. Should be it. No stam. There he goes. Not bad at all. I knew I would need 2 daggers. That is 3 bosses down. And you guys already know at this point, we're taking the bone mass. 3 out of the 7 bosses down, we managed to make it into the mountain biome fairly easily by outlasting bone mass by using 2 abyssal razors. And because we had already scouted the close mountain, I quickly returned to explore the rest and look for silver. We're gonna make my way towards that frost cave, because I do want to clear it just in case there's a location of Moder. Almost got him. I, of course, was having a bit of trouble killing drakes, because not only did I only have a melee weapon, it was one of the shortest attack ranges in the game, but I persevered and eventually made it to my first frost cave, which I went into trying to locate Moder. Gotta remember that I'm fire vulnerable. Because of my root harness, I was vulnerable to fire damage, so I had to be aware of the cultist who could kill me pretty easily. Cultist? And if I could ambush him... There's 2 of them. I don't really want to die. Not wanting to risk dying for the first time and feeling like I had explored enough of the cave, I retreated back to the mountains and continued searching for silver. Yo, that was sick. No silver, huh? Ooh, a trophy. I hope I get one more. Unfortunately, not finding any silver on the mountain close to my base, I was forced to go search other mountains. And I had remembered a pretty big one near to where I'd left my boat, so I took the portal and sailed over. Whoops. The frost cave right there. Ooh, there's one nearby. Yes. Another trophy, just randomly. No way! We have been blessed by Iron Gate. I'm notoriously bad at beating stone golems, and with a knife, I can imagine I'm probably even worse. See? I suck. Let's wait till he swings. Yeah. Not bad. Did more damage than I thought I would. I thought I would take like my whole dagger to kill him. Alright. Climbing the mountain, I was eventually able to locate a promising silver vein, so I began to dig it out. Did he kill my portals? Sure is. Wait, this is clean? We're doing it? Wait. Oh. We're on one today, guys. Yes, sir. Collecting my first silver vein, I started loading up a cart, but I ran out of frost mead, so I was forced to take a little bit of a break from the mountains. So I decided that I would take my carve that was still docked on my base to go exploring north. I'm out of frost. We're gonna take the carve over to the mountain I marked over here a while ago. Haldor, please. Landing in yet another black forest, I explored around the base of the mountain, which is when I would finally make a massive discovery. Finally, man. He was right up here the whole time. Hello, Haldor. Alright, we finally got the belt. And now that a couple of days had passed, I was able to collect my mead from the fermenter and continue gathering more silver from the mountain. God, I'm almost dead already. This is deadly. That's another trophy. Guys, I can make 2 helmets now. Hate when they're like in a rock like this. There we go. Not the best, but not the worst either. I have 121 silver. I want more. Probably want about 200-ish. I'm just gonna have to kill him. Pop bone mass. Take him down. I pretty easily kill these guys. I don't really have problems. These drakes are so annoying. After collecting a bunch of silver, I now felt like I had enough to make everything I would need, so I started hauling my very heavy cart down the side of the mountain. A lot of silver. Making it back to my boat and stocking it full of silver ore, I took a fairly long voyage over to my starter base. Not a terrible sail. After making it home, I quickly began smelting down my hull, making improvements and looking to upgrade my equipment. How much does the knife cost? I know the silver sword is ridiculous. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it costs iron, just like the other one too. Do I have enough? Okay, I might have enough. I can make one right now, actually. Let's do that. Finally replacing my abyssal razor with a silver knife, I also decided to make a wolf fur cape. No more frost resistance needed. Day 60. Oh. Actually, I got the silver dagger now. And after fending off a ghost raid with my new silver knife, I was also able to upgrade my armor thanks to luckily getting 2 Drake trophies, which are notoriously hard to get sometimes, which you would know if you have seen some of my other challenges. And now all that was really left for me to do in the mountains was to find the location of Mulder, so I went exploring for more frost caves to hopefully find the ruin stone that would reveal her location. Necklace. Hits me through the wall. Take off my fire damage modifier. Finding nothing, I continued searching and eventually came across another cave. I'm just bound to find Mulder, right? It's weird how many frost caves I explore, they always look different to me. Yes. Yes. We found it, guys. Where are you at? North, huh? Didn't you get one more upgrade for my forge. Somehow I need more iron. What if I do this? Back at base, I continued upgrading my gear and started preparing food for the upcoming fight. Bang. How much they ate of it, man. Oh, what happens when you build right next to the pond? Not knowing the mountain that the boss altar was located on, I wanted to bring a couple of dragon eggs with me in case there wasn't enough there, so I returned to the nearby mountain to collect some. Only finding 2, I figured that was enough, and with everything else pretty much ready, I loaded my ship and started my journey over to Muther. Maybe I'll stop on this little island here, and, well, I do have good wind. Should I chance the serpents for good wind? I think you do. I think you have to. That must be the mountain, right? It's pretty large. Kind of a perfect landing point, actually. Arriving at the base of the mountain, I climbed all the way to the peak and finally found the altar. Should be right up here. And of course, there is a stone golem. Why not? We'll ignore him for a second, though. We have made it. That looks like a howling cavern to me, guys. I learned this from the no boats video. Yeah, it definitely is. This is the boss dungeon. You can tell immediately by the blue ice coming off of it. Yeah, sure, why not? There he is. Or probably a she. There she is. A lot of damage. Get off the stairway. Please get off the stairway. Holy, yeah, no. Oh, no. Maybe I'll come back later. Maybe. Let's see if we can find another egg. Not wanting to die right before the boss fight, I decided I would maybe come back to the Howling Cavern once I had better gear. So instead I retrieved the last few eggs and got ready to summon Muther. I think I might as well upgrade. I know it's not as good as the Locke's cloak in terms of like the materials, but I have a lot of stuff anyway. Making my last few upgrades and grabbing my trusty hoe, I portaled back to the arena to prepare it. Build my classic pillars. Yeah, I'm ready. No. That was a bad attempt, guys. That was pretty bad. Of course. I think I'm just gonna have to ignore the drakes. That was a good run, actually. Wow. 2 phases so far. If this Drake wasn't on me, this fight would be awesome. And honestly, he's not bothering me too much, but lands perfectly again. Crawl down. Yeah, that figures. Kind of got confused. This might be a 3-phase fight. I am really surprised at knives. I get that later on in the game is when they really start to struggle, but it's been really good so far. After killing the 4th boss, I was now around halfway to my goal, but by this time my home on the water was starting to get a little bit cramped, and throughout the playthrough so far I had been looking for potential options to make my main base. I had originally thought that building under the Elder Altar would have been cool, but they were just a little too low, but I'm kind of glad because my next idea turned out a lot better I think. But before I did anything I wanted to collect some tar for building, so I went to the plains next to the Bog Witch. The tower is right there. So I found 2 of the 3 dungeons. Let's see. I don't have poison resist, even though I should have brought some. There we go. I'm getting better, guys. There's more in there. It's just when they sneak attack you is the problem. Clearing out all the growths, I chose to dig a trench instead of using the hoe because I wanted to collect as much tar as possible. I think that's plenty. That almost looks like Yagluth over there. I don't think it is. I think it's just like 2 rocks next to each other. Let's check. Yeah, it's not. It would have been nice though. I think I need to expand into a bigger base. I kind of been scoping out some locations and the elder ones won't work, but I think I have an idea. I think I'm going to build right here in the mountains again. But I need some iron first, so I'm going to go down to the swamp and see if I can find some. Making a quick run south to a swamp I scouted while sailing, I collected enough iron to build a stone cutter so I could begin construction on my new base. Now I chose to build in a specific location for a very good reason. My goal for this base was to have a secret underground section, but this is hard to do in Valheim because the game only allows you to dig 8 meters down, and that's why I'm currently in the mountains, because I was planning on using a little known trick to dig quite deep, and that was using these naturally occurring ruins that happen to spawn in this biome, and by removing the old structure and digging even further down, I now had a deep hole that I could repurpose into my secret hideout. How deep this goes, guys. Digging as deep and wide as the game allowed me, I ended up with a hole that had a gradual taper that left me less space on the bottom, so my plan was to build kind of a reverse tower that got larger as you got closer to the surface. I think I want one higher even though then you have to jump. Just feels too cramped in here. Using my typical build style of figuring things out as I go, I went through many variations of the underground section of the base, but I ended up going with levels that were 5 stone bricks high. This would limit me in the number of floors I could do, but it was definitely a good choice because it made the build overall less cramped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oof. I'd love to get 2 more in. Maybe I can raise everything up. This being the only type of ruins that I had found, I was already working with not the most ideal location, but since I already had a lot of landscaping and grading work to do around the base, I decided to raise the ground even higher to accommodate another floor to my hideout, giving me a total of 4 levels. Alright, how many levels do we have? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the smallest one down here. Getting done with the underbelly of the base, I needed to figure out an entrance to the hidden section, so I built a small passageway that led up to the surface. Something like this. Moving on to the upper section of my base, I worked to clear out some of the surrounding rocks and raise the terrain to match my new foundation, but I still need to figure out what I would build to hide the under part, so I decided that I wanted to use a material that I hadn't used much in the past, that being core wood, and I figured a humble hunting cabin in the mountains would be the perfect and inconspicuous building to place on top of my hideout. Just imagining it. Not really knowing what I was building, I used the trick that I talked about in the start of the video and framed the general outline of the build before placing down the walls. Experimenting a little bit with the roof, I decided to build a patio area out front so the build wouldn't look so flat. And I started off using the more shallow roofs, but I switched later on to give the inside more height and a grander look. kind of like tall ceilings better. I would say that looks pretty good. More cabinish. Roughly finishing the roof, you guys already know I'm going to go back in and add more dimension later on. But for now I focus on the outside features like adding a deck and filling out more of the details. Thinking about what I was going to do with the roof, I went inside and started to fill out the basic areas. No! It's looking pretty decent. I was going for kind of like a low-key build, you know, to kind of hide the secret below it, but I kind of got a little carried away. I like what I did with the windrows build. Add like footings, I think that's what they're called. Deck footings. Being pretty happy with how the exterior was coming along, I started to think about how I could fix the grading and make the structure look more natural in the environment. Don't ask me what I'm doing, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, kind of like a retaining wall. After fixing up the front of the base, I added paths and a little area to keep warm. Weirdly enough, for being one building, I think this is one of the bigger bases I've built in terms of space. Like the interior areas. Taking a break from building, I really wanted to get a jump start on the next biome, so I returned back to the plains that I had collected tar and searched for villages where I could find flax and barley so I could start a farm. I actually don't mind that it's raining, as it stops raining. The berserkers should be fine, but the shamans are going to be a problem. Oh god. Well, we'll run them into this tar pit. Taking out my first fueling village, I attempted to sneak in. But because of the large number of enemies, I was easily seen and it had alerted the whole village. But I was able to kite back and take them out one by one. There's just so many of them. A lot of guys. I can one cycle them though, it's pretty good. I have flax, I need barley. Another village up there. Let's pop bone mass here. Wow. I've got so much black metal. It's kind of sad. Only gonna get 3 barley, huh? That's all it's gonna give me. I have to run away a little bit. 2 at once might be a little rough. Almost halfway to nice level 100 at 73. No longer rested. Okay, I should go back. Gathering some flax and barley, I returned to the cabin to continue the build. I also decided to set up a farm at the base of the mountain. I'm gonna put the bed in this corner. I'm gonna do this. Hide my entrance. Right about there. And now it's gone. With the main structure of the cabin and secret chamber done, I just needed to slowly fill it up with workstations, storage, and decorations. Still having most of my materials and all of my items I'd collected so far back at my other base, the first area I wanted to complete was the storage room so I could start bringing things over. So I went down and started building on the 3rd level, just so you guys get a better picture of the layout of the base. If you think of the underground section as kind of like a backwards tower, the 1st floor I dedicated as a workshop area, and the 2nd I was saving for the Mistland stuff. The 3rd floor was storage, and the 4th and smallest floor was my portal room. I've never really gotten questioned on this, but I was thinking about it recently. A lot of people like to label their storage to make it easier to sort. I personally don't really like the look of it, I just remember where I put things. But I definitely see the advantage of labeling, so let me know what you guys do down below. Get myself my crypt key. My longship being left all the way up north from where I fought Mulder at, I needed to sail it back to my starter to load up all the non-teleportable resources that was there. But because my ship was next to a swamp, I took the opportunity to gather more iron because I knew I would need it for the future. Sun's going down, I'll head out. A little 69 iron, not bad. Sailing down to my starter, I quickly loaded everything into my ship and continued heading south. It looks pretty decent. I think I'm ready to go. And after sailing for a while in the best and most engaging biome in the game, that of course being the ocean, I had made it to the shoreline of the island that my cabin was located on. That's a good view, look at that. That looks nice. Taking multiple trips back and forth, I was now fully moved in to my new home in the mountains. I would still make gradual improvements on my cabin hideout as I made my way through the rest of the game, but now that I was fully moved in, I could continue my progress into the plains. I also started working on building all the stuff I unlocked with the artisan table, and I would also complete my workshop so I was ready to upgrade my gear. Building out the workshop area, I also went up to the cabin and started filling up the empty space. I'm going to place it over here, kind of in the corner too, like that. Maybe if I put it sideways, like this. I think that looks fine. Being hunted again. Good chance to get some meat and farm some knife skill. I might have covered this the last time I built in the mountains, but one of my favorite things about living in this biome is that a lot of the more annoying raids can't happen, most notably the troll raid. But after killing all the wolves, I built a blast furnace so I could smelt down the small amount of black metal that I had collected throughout the playthrough so far. We have finally gotten black metal. Black metal knife, an upgrade. It's fairly cheap as well. Upgrading my knife, I also went down to the farm to build a windmill so I can get started on making better food. And after days of smelting all my iron reserves, I was able to upgrade my helmet and leg armor to the padded set. We want the helmet and the pants. And we went from 69 armor to 81. With my equipment upgraded, I thought it was about time to actually start trying to progress towards Jakknife. So after cooking some better food in my new kitchen area, I collected my longship so I could place it in the plains that I had partially explored already. This is so I could look for totems while collecting black metal to eventually bring back to my cabin. I can't see anything, guys. That right there, please be a Jakknife location. Just give it to me. There's Mistlands over there. No. After exploring a lot of the plains around me, I placed my ship down so I could fill it up with some black metal before sailing further down the coast. I know I had a lot of ore over here somewhere. Yes, 33. Totem. All the goblins are gone. They must have got killed by the tar. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I hate when they sneak up on you. After gathering some fine wood, I boarded my longship and began to sail back towards the cabin. But I was quite far from home, so I was planning on exploring every plains I could along the way. Pulling up on a fueling village, I attempted to sneak up, but there was just too many enemies around not to be seen, so I decided to use my trusty old strategy of running straight in and grabbing the totem and running for my life after. And after successfully grabbing my second totem, I ran to another village and tried to do the exact same thing. But I decided to use my bone mass power this time because there was 5 berserkers in this village, so it was a little scary. Exploring more of what turned out to be a pretty large plains, I quickly found another fueling ruin which provided me with a 5th totem, meaning that all that was left for me to do was to find Jakknife, which we all know is easier said than done. Yes. Jakknife location? No. Not having any luck, I packed up my portal and continued my slow voyage back home. Docking my boat on shore of yet another plains, I continued my search for the elusive fueling king. God damn! But still not finding much of anything, I sailed up to the mountain in which my cabin was located on. This is so I could begin smelting down some of the black metal that I had gathered while I continued searching. And after getting that started, I boarded my ship once again and went out to look for more plains. Oh, Jakknife, where are you at, bro? I think they can spawn over here too. I learned that in the no bases video. Very disappointing. Well, it's gonna be one of those playthroughs. I guess we move on to the next one. Guess that's the edge of the Mistlands. There's a troll right there. Terrifying. Going through many cycles of running and sailing, I was not having much luck. It's weird that in some playthroughs you're able to find Jakknife right away, but in others it takes literal hours. But that's just the way Valheim is sometimes, and the exploration is one of the things that makes this game so good. And I knew that if I just kept exploring, I would eventually find what I was looking for. That almost looks like a red glow, doesn't it? It is. Oh my god. We finally found him. How close? He was still far away. That is such a relief. Just some random ruins out in the corner of the map. Plains is a weird biome because it has no dungeons. Which I don't mind that the Plains doesn't have dungeons, but they should at least make the Jakknife stone. Oh shit. But they should at least make the Jakknife stone in the villages maybe. Like maybe a bigger variant of a village. Discovering the location of Jakknife, I quickly collected my portal and made my voyage over to his altar so I could start preparing for the eventual fight. Oh, I need to clear this village, aren't I? Yag's altar being right on the coast, I was able to park my longship right next to it on the shore, but there happened to be a village only steps away, so I needed to clear it out before the fight. Oh! I was able to sneak attack him. I think I can upgrade my knife and then probably fight him tomorrow. After clearing the village, I went back to the cabin to cook some more food and make some last minute upgrades that would help me with the fight. I might change my power, just because you don't really need bone mass for Yagluth. Now, which one do I want? Because Yagluth does mostly elemental damage, I decided to swap out my bone mass power for the Eikthyr Forsaken power, to give myself a little bit more mobility. Waiting for it to be a little later so I could sleep, I decorated the base a little bit. But when the sun started to go down, I went to bed in the cozy cabin and awoke on day 115, ready to fight Valheim's 5th boss. I think I'm ready. Day 115, I'm fighting Yagluth. Taking my portal, I placed the last few totems into the altar. So far into this challenge, knives have actually been pretty good, so I was excited to test them out against one of my favorite bosses. Let's do it. Oh, I didn't even notice you spawning over there. Not bad damage. Attack didn't even go off. I'm gonna drink a potion here. I'm probably gonna have to pull off for a bit here. Oh, maybe the Elder buff would be decent here for the regen. Four minutes on my resistance left. I'll sit in this one. This should be it. This has not been too bad, guys. But honestly, this is probably where it gets a little bit harder, because I really don't know what I'm going to do about the queen yet. Taking down Yagluth, I was kind of on a roll. Still not having any deaths this run, we made it through the first 5 biomes pretty easily. But this is when I started to get a little bit nervous, because we all know that the difficulty really ramps up in the last 2 biomes. And most enemies now have pierce resistance, which makes my knives deal a little less damage. But I've been surprised so far by this build, so I guess I'll just have to find out how we do when we get there. There we go. Now let's go right out the window. Preparing for the Mistlands, I still had yet to build the black metal axe, so I went down to my workshop to craft it. Brand new axe. Waiting for nightfall, I went to collect a wisp so I would be able to safely navigate the Mistlands. And while I was at it, I decided to upgrade my cloak to level 4 for that sweet 1 extra armor. Hopefully I don't need any more silver. If I do, I'll just put some more. It's not a big deal, I'm in the mountains, so. Now ready to enter the Mistlands, I took my portal to where I fought Yagluth so I could hop on my longship and sail south. To the Mistlands we go. Going into the Mistlands, you would think this biome would be perfect for a sneaky playstyle, but unfortunately the wisp light makes you more visible to enemies, allowing them to spot you more easily. So to sneak up you'd have to unequip the light, which of course means you can't see. So overall, it's pretty bad. Already a dungeon there. Looks like it anyway. We are already in it. I 3-shotted him. Oh my gosh. Okay, 2 dungeons or what's going on here? First entering the Mistlands, I found a settlement right next to a dungeon, so I ran the Seekers that were guarding the entrance over to the dagger so they could take them out for me. And after the coast was clear, I set up a portal and entered my first infested mine. Sealbreaker. Instantly sees me. Sneaking is useless in this game, I swear to God. There's a soldier right there. Not gonna pop bone mass quite yet. A lot of things here. That's alright, I'll let this guy suck on me for a little bit. My first mine was going pretty well, but this is when I ran into my first Seeker soldier, so I took advantage of the extra mobility that you get when wielding the knife, jumping over and kiting the soldier, targeting its vulnerable backside. I do like how I can be very nimble with the dagger. So that is, I think, the best method is to come in, hit him with the middle attack, it stuns them, and easily take them down. A black core. Another seal breaker. This is very nice. He's a 1-star. Okay, this one I will pop bone mass on. Without a doubt. And he's dead. Oh. That actually scared me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. There's 2 Seeker soldiers up there. Are they both 1-star? They're both 1-star. Wow. Okay, we will wait on that. That seems like a death trap and a half. I can't even get up the stairs. He's actually blocking it. Okay. Wish I could do something about that. Overall, though, not bad at all. Being forced to leave part of the mine unexplored, I retreated back to the surface and continued exploring through the mist. No. Not having any good ways to kill the Yalls, I ran back to my friends so they could take them down. I could maybe bring them back to the dagger settlement over here. Thanks, boys. Took them out for me. And with the big threat eliminated, I searched the surrounding area for any points of interest. Get them. Get them. Yes. There we go. Although I don't have a pickaxe yet. Finding a giant skull, I wanted to collect its soft tissue, so I went back to the hideout to craft a black metal pickaxe, which is required to harvest it. I should have took down this tree. This thing's annoying. Collecting a good amount of soft tissue, I continued on my adventure, hoping to locate more dungeons so I could get more black cores. Is this another skull? No. There's a crate here, though. I've never seen one of these. What is this? I swear you see something new in this game every playthrough. So that way is a Yall, so I will keep going this way for now. There's a Mistlands torch on the mountain. How goofy is that? Hello, you've traveled a long way. Ooh, I need this. No, I need this. Yes. Not finding any more dungeons, I was able to find a couple of towers and another skull, but I still needed to get an extractor, but I didn't want to use the cart trick this playthrough, so I went towards the coast to hopefully find a dock where there was less dagger to kill. Here we go. One man out here. Perfect. Assassinating the crate's only guard, I was able to break the ward and collect the extractor. Oh. Oh no. Okay. Oh, that was close. I did not expect another guy to be here. After getting snuck up on by a Dagger mage, I was able to escape with my life. But now that I had the extractor, there was one problem. I needed black metal to start tapping roots for sap. And not wanting to sail all the way back to the cabin, I decided to be a little resourceful and collect the materials needed locally. Only one dungeon, so I guess this Mistlands wasn't that great. But it was a pretty good start. It's not bad at all. Heading towards the plains, I found a black forest nearby so I can collect some copper to make a forge. After that, I went back to the bridge to collect some iron for the blast furnace. And now that I had all the materials, I set up a little smelting area in the plains nearby and went to kill some goblins. Finally getting enough black metal, I went back into the mist to find a good place to set up my tap and make a Joan Puff farm. Is this 3 separate routes? Alright, this will be my farm then. Now that I had a sap extractor going, I decided to keep exploring the Mistlands for more dungeons. And spotting another section of the biome south, I ran down to scout it out. That almost looks like the queen. I was so wrong. Oh, I'm all the way at the Ashlands. Still not finding anything, I decided to move my longship down so I could sail across a small channel to some more unexplored Mistlands. Oh, this is one. Oh, thank God. Finding my second infested cave, I placed the portal down and killed the seekers around it. Hidden door, right away. Yes. I'm just gonna bust this. Why not? And it was a good choice. This one was a bit of a dud. I only managed to find 2 more black cores, which still wasn't enough to make the black forge. And that's it. I do have 4. I need 1 more. Dang it. How many seal breakers do I have? 4 as well. Okay. Y'all right there. I don't think this is talked about often, but I really like how Seekers just drop their stuff immediately when they die. Please be another dungeon. It is, yes. Can I get the drop on him though? There's 2 1-stars. Okay, I'm just gonna... My power's not ready. Okay, I'm a little scared now. But you know what? We're just gonna go in. There's a black core right there and a seal breaker right away. It's a 2-star tick I just have to be aware of. There's still 2 seekers there. There's even more seekers. Oh my God. There's a soldier. I jump over him. There's another soldier. There's another soldier. There is another soldier. There's 4 soldiers. Are we being serious right now, Iron Gate? They're gonna come all the way up too? They are. That's kind of a problem. And he's on the same level with me, okay? Need to leave? See, this is why you should clear it first. Now I'm stuck between literally a rock and a hard place. There's another one. Okay. Well, this is not good. Putting myself in a bit of a precarious situation, I had multiple one-star seekers outside the mine while having a soldier right on the other side of the entrance. But I was able to do a little bit of an unintentional cheese by resetting the sneaking aggro by going in and out, allowing me to get some critical backstabs in. Well, this is horrible, guys. Yeah, let's go back in here. We got it. Yes. Sometimes these infested caves are just so much enemies at once. That's why in my hardcore series I approach them like so slowly and with so much care. Because you can really get overwhelmed fast. 2-star seeker. This caves is deadly. You know what? This is a trick. You take out the wisp light because they can see it. Didn't help me at all, but it's worth a try. Yes! I got the sneak attack on him too. Got him. 2 black cores. Yes, dude. This is actually the best dungeon ever. Holy shit. That is miles away. Finding the queen's location, I was now making some pretty good progress into the Mistlands biome, which takes quite a bit of time in my opinion. Oh, it's here all night. My knife's broke. I have to run. No, stay away. I'll have to bring him back in. Dude, get off of me. How many steel breaker fragments do I have? I think probably 8. 7. So I still need 2 more. Now, where do I want this? I think it'd fit really good over here. Skull and Hitty. Hati? Skull and Hati. I can actually make it. Finally getting down the Black Forge, I was able to craft the best available knife in Valheim, the Skull and Hati. There we go, guys. My end game knife. And I think I'm just going to sail up to the queen. It might be faster to go from here, but it's really not that big of a difference, to be honest. It's just far away. Although I still need to clear some more dungeons, I want to sail over to the infested citadel where the queen lives. So I returned to my ship and made an excruciatingly long voyage over to the west side of the map. Is this canal going to lead me all the way to the queen? The Yal Riviera. That's not the queen. That's just a dungeon. Finding another dungeon on the coast, I moved in to clear it to hopefully find the last 2 Sealbreaker fragments I needed. Ow. But unfortunately, I only managed to find 2 more black cores, so I went over to clear the door to the infested citadel. Damn. Oh, it's going to attack my ship. Sneaking around the yawl, it eventually aggroed onto my longship, but I didn't really need it anymore because I was going to upgrade my ship after the queen fight anyway, so I used it as a distraction to make my escape. We have made it. Clearing the entrance, I dropped a portal in the abandoned part below and headed off to hopefully find another cave. This could be death, guys. We're good. And that's why you keep stam meads on you. Another seal breaker. At last, finding enough fragments and black cores, I headed back to my cabin hideout to start preparing for the fight. And there were still a lot of upgrades to do, so I would be there for quite a while. Placing my refinery in the back of the cabin behind a rock, I worked to refine all the soft tissue I'd collected into iter. And after getting some refined iter, I was able to make some upgrades to my armor. Okay, good. I only needed the iron for that one piece. Now that my armor was maxed out, I worked on getting some better food, and because I had a nice cozy cooking and eating area, I decided that using feasts would not only be good for decoration, but also for the queen fight. So I went back to the bog witch to buy some supplies. I want a serving tray. Is that better than salad? 55, 55, 106. So yes, it's technically 4 points better than a salad in terms of overall stats. Fully upgraded. Or as much as I can go for now. I kind of want another one. Is that weird? I know it's going to break during the fight, so I might as well just make 2. And it's the best dagger I can get. God damn, that's a big feast. Okay, we got to move some stuff. There we go. After refining all my soft tissue, I deconstructed my refinery so I had enough black cores to place a galder table in my hideout. Let's put it over here. Now having the galder table, I decided it was finally time to upgrade my cape to one of the most useful items in the game, the feather cape. We got the feather cape. And since my Mistlands floor was still pretty bare, I decided to take some time to decorate it. Boom. Then over here, looks a little strange, I'm not gonna lie. I'll make the seal breaker, and I think I'm ready to fight the queen. I'm gonna make a spare dagger. Finally crafting the seal breaker and making a spare knife for when mine would inevitably break during the fight, I was now ready to open the infested citadel. I'm also going to put the other one in my hotbar as well, just in case. Being as prepared as I could be, I was still really nervous for this fight, because I knew that one of the key things about fighting the queen is having some sort of AoE to take out the creatures that keep spawning non-stop. But I was stuck with having just a knife, which is pretty terrible for taking out multiple targets at once. So I wasn't really sure how this fight would go, but having 3 knives on my hotbar, I was in it for the long haul. So after watching the door creak open, I stepped into the queen's chamber. Didn't need to take the fire resist. It's usually right up here. And she saw me immediately. Alright, Wisp-Blade on. Bone mass popped. It's not terrible damage. I'm already getting overwhelmed by these. No. I was hoping I could sneak attack her when she goes into those phases. I know you can with the bow sometimes. I'm gonna try to get her up a little bit just so I can get out of the mist. Only have 2 minutes of bone mass left. Bro, this fight is so irritating. I can't even see anything. Hello? Where am I? 20 seconds left of bone mass, and she's not even half HP. Imagine if sneak was better and you could sneak attack her every time she was in this phase. Then this fight would be so cool for knives. No, now that I'm in the groove, It's not going too terribly. I drank that just in time, by the way. Not bad, guys. Haven't had to use any health potions yet. Dodge that really poorly. Oh no, I'm going down. She popped up right next to me. We are doing it. We are actually doing it. No way. Guys, that wasn't bad at all. I was so nervous about that fight. With the knives? I am actually really impressed right now. I knew that the queen would probably be the hardest fight for this build too. So going to the Ashlands, I am so happy right now. I have learned a lot from this run. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I might have been sleeping on the knives just a little bit, because although the queen fight was pretty intense, I was still able to take her down relatively easily. And her being, in my opinion, the hardest boss fight, I felt confident going into the Ashlands. But we all know how hectic that biome can be, and just surviving while exploring is probably a bigger challenge than any boss fight. So I'll have to be really careful if I want to continue my deathless run and put up another flawless playthrough. But first I want to take a little bit of a break after that fight and do some work around the base and clean up some stuff before going to the Ashlands. After putting up some more decorations in my base, I wanted to go back and take down some of the side bosses that I discovered a while back. And now that I had Miss Lens tier gear, I figured it would be pretty easy. Yes! Guess I'm going all the way down. Not bad. Oh, it's not teleportable. I forgot about that. No. I'll have to sail all the way up here if I want to grab it. I know what I can do. I can wait till I get the stone portal and then I can transport them. That'll save me a lot of time. After clearing the Howling Cavern, I went to the tower to try to clear that one too. We got him, guys. He's not even attacking. He's confused. There he goes. I'm gonna pull back. I'm gonna see if I can sneak attack him too. There he is. No shield. Open. Vulnerable. Later. And I got myself an egg. Those two side quests being complete, I left the rewards behind to collect later when I had a stone portal. Okay, I'm gonna go to the coast and build my Drakkar and get ready to sail to the Ashlands. Taking my portal down to the Mistlands farm, I built a jakkar on the coast. Because I had placed a blast furnace to smelt black metal, I actually had the materials I would need to place a stone cutter when I reached the Ashlands, which is required to build a stone portal, something I usually forget.
Iron Surtling cores, and that's already the fine wood. I just need the great ore fies.
After stocking up on some basic materials for my first day in the Ashlands, I boarded my jakkar and started sailing. It did take kind of a roundabout way because I wanted to get a little more central on the map. This is because that's where the largest part of the Ashlands generates, so it's typically better to land there.
Here you go, guys.
Crossing over into the fiery red waters of the Ashlands, I made a beeline to the shore, trying to avoid any bone moth from spawning, because I would have no way to take them out if they decide to attack me.
The vultures. We'll ignore them for a second because I'm almost ashore anyway. We have landed.
Landing in the Ashlands, I immediately started heading inland searching for a charred fortress. This is because they are one of the only relatively safe places in this dangerous biome, so if I managed to clear one early, I would have a secure location to progress from.
I'm struggling to get in here. Uh-oh. Okay, that's a problem. There's a fortress. And we are at a dead end. All right, we are busting the bone mass. And there's a Morgan. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. No worries here. I am not worried. We're going to escape into the putrid hole.
Already overwhelmed only minutes into the Ashlands, I took refuge in a putrid hole, where I attempted to stealthily kill the Morgan inside.
That is very little damage to the Morgan, I'm not gonna lie. Morgans really do keep the pressure on, don't they? I do not like knives versus Morgan, actually. It's kind of the first time I've felt this way. But I have bone mass on, so it's fine.
After hiding for a while, I went back out to continue looking for a fortress.
It's like impossible to get over there. There's the fortress. I should probably kill these Askfin before bone mass wears off if I can. 33 seconds. I gotta be fast. He's dead.
Finding a fortress and killing some of the enemies chasing me, I went to try to secure the fort without my bone mass forsaken power.
There we go. This could be a problem with bone mass down. We're just gonna go for it. Nice. Dead? No, I'm good. There's not that many people in here. Was there only one turret? Yeah, there's only one turret on this. Really easy one. That was dumb of me. I don't know why I thought that would be okay. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? One more hit. Thank you. Warlock's dead. That's huge. Wow, they both attack. Okay, do not power attack those. All right, just have the Warlock left. Yes. A successful landing in the Ashlands. And we don't need any of those, but okay. Not a problem.
Clearing my first fortress, I was now feeling pretty safe, but I still needed to collect 30 Growston to build the stone portal, so I mined the tombstones around the area.
I mined them all and I don't have enough? Oh, uh-oh. I'm one short.
Being one short, I decided to dig down to the center of the fort to collect my reward.
What the heck is that? And we already know the location of fodder. And he's not far. Wait. There's still no... Why would they do that to me? I need to get one grouse in somewhere. There we go.
Finally getting a stone portal down, I was able to return to the safety of my cabin to sleep through the night. And now that I had easy access back and forth to the Ashlands, I collected enough resources for another stone portal and was able to bring the chest from the side quest back to my base. If you think I was going to return these awesome looking decorations to Hildir just for the reward of having her allow me to purchase some pretty useless clothing, you'd be wrong. After getting sidetracked a bit doing stuff around the cabin, I decided to return to the Ashlands and head over to the Coliseum where you summon the final boss fodder. And although I wasn't ready to fight him, I figured I could probably find what I needed around the area.
Alright, I'm gonna head towards fodder. I think that just makes sense. I actually staggered him. Oh, wow.
Making the relatively short journey through the hordes of enemies, I was able to avoid the lava and eventually make it to fodder.
We are already here.
After reaching the Coliseum, I worked to destroy all the spawners in the area to reduce the amount of enemies, which also allowed me to scout for flame metal spires and fortresses.
Plenty of flame metal spires around here. Ah. Whoa. Dude. Dude. Another fortress.
Finding another fortress and tons of spires, I placed a stone portal down on top of a nearby putrid hole. And because I hadn't found any flame metal ore yet, I decided to mine one of the spires to hopefully start upgrading my food and equipment.
Explode. Thank you.
After filling up my inventory with ore, I jumped down to take out all the creatures that had gathered around the base of the spire.
Ow. That parried him? Should I try parrying? Oh my gosh, it actually parried.
Returning to my cabin hideout, I quickly smelted down the flame metal to make some upgrades to my food, which would help me in my future exploration of the Ashlands. Portaling back, I finished mining the spire and went over to clear the fortress that I spotted in the distance.
Oh no. I'm leaving. Not risking that. One's dead.
Clearing another pretty weak fortress, I was able to collect the bells from within. And it's kind of weird that these last two didn't have much enemies because they're usually packed. I think I might have said this in a previous video, and I'm not really sure if it's true, but I think if you scale the wall quick and take out the spawners as fast as possible, it doesn't allow as many charges to spawn, making the fortress not as hard.
There we go. Only gave me 2 this time. That's okay because I got 4 last time though.
My inventory full, I returned to the safety of the cabin to smelt down the flame metal that I had collected.
Let's craft some bells and see if I get a double. I don't know if I need to hit another fortress or not. Nope. 20. Some new pants.
Making some small upgrades to my gear, I still needed to find one more fortress so I could make the last spell to summon fodder. So I returned to the Ashlands to search.
What the? It just came out of nowhere. Well, pop bone mass, I guess. Oh shit. I did not have fire resistance on. I legit thought I was dead there. Another one's popping up? Holy crap, dude. Nice. Thanks, Morgan.
Being overwhelmed once again, I was the closest I had been all run to dying. So I decided to pull back and make a few more upgrades before going back out, changing my feather cape to the ashen cape for extra armor, and upgrading my pants a little more.
Dude, there is so many fucking creatures. There's one.
Being followed by an endless amount of enemies, I was able to finally find another fortress, which I quickly scaled the walls and attempted to clear.
All right, that's our last bells. Now we just have to get back safely somehow. I forgot I didn't have the feather cape. There's literally everybody after me at all times.
Clearing my last fortress, I beelined it back to the portal so I can craft my last bell, putting me one step closer to killing the final boss.
All the bells.
Needing more black metal to max out my upgrades on my knife, I returned to the sealed tower with the stone portal to kill the high concentration of feelings to farm scrap.
Nope.
And after throwing all the stacks off the top of the tower, I collected them on the ground and returned to the cabin. Making some of my final upgrades for the fight, all I needed to do was prepare my food and wait for my meat to be done.
Now we are maxed out. Just gotta wait for our meads and then we should be good. Let's get the Mistlands feast too. Herbs of the Hidden Hills. You know what? I'm missing what you make for it. I believe it's like seeker meat and then that one. Yes, this one. There we go. Is it cooked or not? That is cooked, okay.
After making the Mistlands feast, I was just stuck waiting for meads, so I did some final decorations to my base.
I was out here collecting some wood, but I'm thinking I kind of want to change the Yagluth. Get the 10% extra damage? Yes.
Waiting around for a couple of days, all my meats were finally done fermenting, and now I was as strong as I was going to be for the fight.
We are ready, guys.
And on day 151, I crossed back into the Ashlands for hopefully the last time.
1 star, 1 star.
Clearing the surrounding enemies from around the Colosseum, I was a little nervous about this fight. I now had a knife which was one biome behind versus a boss which had resistance to half the damage of my blade. So I knew this was probably going to be quite a long fight. But this whole time, the knife has been performing very well, so all I needed to do was finish off the run without dying.
Should I go back and repair? I probably should, but I'm not going to.
After clearing out all the enemies, I placed the bells in and got ready for the fight ahead.
All right, screw it. Let's do this. Yes, I got the sneak attack. The damage is pretty bad. Wouldn't lie. Yeah, that damage is pretty horrible. I feel like I did really good there. But his health bar is not reflecting that. It'll be a long fight. I'm doing very little damage. Just gonna point out that my daggers are half dead already, and he's not half health. He's gonna start spawning people soon. And there he is. Are we for real here? There's nowhere on the battlefield that I can attack him at the moment. Fire, thank you. I have 10 seconds left on my stuff. 5, 4, so after this comes up. That was way more important than dodging these. Gosh. This is my chance. 3 minutes. I'm just spend a little bit of time without rested, I think. Are you kidding? This is a problem. I'm upset. I'm upset. Got 1 minute left for rested. We're on a little bit of a roll, but we're taking some little bit of damage. I'm not rested anymore. We got to be very conservative on my stam now. We're gonna have to have some patience here. No. Okay, this could be it if he goes into like a melee rotation. My stam is just so bad now. Run back through these guys. We have made it to the next day. This is it? Possibly. Yes! That was so painful, guys. I'm not gonna lie. The other fights weren't bad, but that was painful. And now I can't see anything. This is the Valheim experience. The classic. There it is. Another deathless run. With the knives. I honestly thought this weapon was doo-doo. Should I just hang his head up here instead? I just don't think that fits the vibe. That's another one done. It's kind of sad, isn't it?
Taking down the 7th and final boss for now, I completed my knives only run, and with another deathless playthrough, I learned quite a lot from this challenge. This playstyle ended up being surprisingly solid, and it makes me think what other weapons and builds I've been blind to this whole time. Maybe I'll have to do some more challenges trying out different weapon types in future videos. But with this run concluded, I returned to my mountain hideout to retire this Viking to the solitude of his cabin. And if you guys have watched to the end of this 2 hours long video, I mean, you might as well like and subscribe for more content like this, especially since 1.0 is coming out in under 2 months. With all that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.